Hello, welcome to Spread Book Joy. Today I'm going to do some non-fiction November recommendations for children. If you're new to this channel, I'm Jack. I'm a qualified primary school teacher who shares great books for children for home or school. I've got lots of playlists, you can go and check them out. And I also talk about my own reading. And if you're not new, welcome back to Spread Book Joy. So today I'm going to do some amazing recommendations for non-fiction November for children. Editing Jack here. I am well aware that Non-Fiction November is nearly over. It is the 29th as I edit this and hope to upload it, but I did record it a while ago. And these are great books, so better late than never. If you're not familiar with Non-Fiction November, I'll link the announcement video from the host abookolive in the description box below. But Non-Fiction November is the month-long celebration of non-fiction on BookTube, and it's been running for 7 years. This is the first year I've heard of it. I'm going to try and take part in Non-Fiction November myself, even though I've got quite a lot of time. I'm quite busy at the moment. I've got quite a lot of reading on, but I've got a book that I've wanted to listen to for ages on Audible, and it is called The Good Immigrant, and it is about 21 writers of colour, Black, Asian, minority ethnic writers in the UK talking about their experiences of living in Britain. Non-fiction November for children. Here are some recommendations, but before we get into it, I just want to point out, and it was mentioned in abookolive mentioned it in her video, that non-fiction has a bad rap with a lot of people, and I think it's because when we were at school, when I was at school in the 80s certainly, non-fiction books for children were so dull. They were full of dull pictures and diagrams and blocks of text, and they were just very unattractive and very unappealing, and no matter how many amazing facts might have been in them, they just looked awful. So I'm here to tell you now, if you haven't seen any children's non-fiction in recent years, you're in for a treat. I'm going to show you some of the most beautiful books that I happen to own and recommend some that I don't yet own but are on my wish list. First few books I want to talk about are all biography and history books. The first is a book that represents a series really. So this is the Little People Big Dreams series. There's an entire series of these books which are all biographies in picture book format for younger children, really accessible, really appealing. This one's on David Bowie, and I have this one because I'm a huge David Bowie fan and my brother bought it for me. I featured it in my recent video on all the books I own on David Bowie, and it's just really cute. But if you look in, you've got these really bright, appealing, gorgeous illustrations and like really accessible text. So this is a really great series. Another brilliant book that I love for Black History Month particularly, but for any time of course, is Little Leaders by Vashti, and it's bold women in Black history. And what I love is you've got these brilliant biographies. You've got so many, 40 biographies of amazing, powerful women in Black history, and you've got their biography down the side and these gorgeous illustrations. I just want to show you this one that I absolutely love. Where is it? Ah, look at that. Alma Woodsey Thomas, Colour is Life. So she was a teacher and painter, and she's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, stunning pictures. Look at these. There we go. Shirley Chisholm, Shirley Bassey, who I love, Bonita Mabo, Dr. Mae Jemison, the first African-American woman astronaut. So this is a fantastic book as well. I can't ignore this series. There was a book called Girls Who Dare to Be Different, and this is Stories for Girls Who Dare to Be Different, and this is Stories for Boys Who Dare to Be Different. And it's all about fighting toxic masculinity and how what being a boy means. What does it mean to be a boy? You know, is it all about slaying dragons and playing sports? So for instance, we've got Grayson Perry in here. When Grayson Perry turned 13, he realised he was getting bored of wearing the clothes other people said were for boys. Sometimes he found it more exciting to wear clothes other people said were for girls. Dresses, blouses, jewellery, high heels. There were lots of things to wear other than t-shirts and jeans. Ishiru Honda, Godzilla. Lionel Messi, the footballer. Sergei Polunin. Last up was one of my favourite middle grade books of last year, and it is Black and British by David Olusoga, and it is a history of Black people in Britain, and it goes right back to Roman times, and I think this book should be in every classroom in Britain. And like I've said before, and I've mentioned this in videos in the past, it really talks about the British role in the slave trade, which isn't really taught that well in primary schools, so I think this is really key and important book. Next up are the ones that I just think are stunning books, and they are non-fiction. First up is a beautiful book about the changes of the seasons called Tree, and it's got a hole all the way through where you can see this owl in the tree, and it's just the book changing the changing of the seasons as seen through one tree, and it's just beautiful. I absolutely love it. I used this recently with my reception class when we were learning about autumn, and you can just see the absolutely amazing changes and lots to notice for children to notice and talk about, and why the tree looks different at each stage and the things that are surrounding the tree at each stage. It's just stunning. It's really beautiful. These next few books are just gorgeous as well, and they're really big, and this is what I mean. They're really big books, but this is what I mean when I say that children's non-fiction has changed so much from when I was a child, because these books would have just been the first things that we picked up off of the class bookshelves if we had them. So this one is called Mythologica, and it is an encyclopedia of gods, monsters and mortals from ancient Greece. Look at this book. I'm just going to show you it. It is absolutely amazing. Look at the artwork. I mean, normally, you know, the books on Greek gods and goddesses have got this particular look to them. This is just, I just love it. Yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful, full of amazing facts, and it is a proper encyclopedia, but it's this artwork. I just absolutely, it's stunning. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. It's for children, can you believe? But actually, I think it would make an amazing, one of those big like coffee table books that adults could have out. Here's another stunning book, which is from the Welcome to the Museum series, and this one is the Botanicum, and this one's all around plants and plant life. Just look at this. They've got one on animals, they've got one on sea life, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Look, you open it up, it talks about all the different plants around the world. And it's just all these amazing drawings and all these facts. There's a key to the different plates so you can read all about the different things. Ah, just gorgeous. The Lost Words by Robert Macfarlane and Jackie Morris. Jackie Morris is the artist. Robert Macfarlane is someone who's famous for doing books on the countryside here in the UK. And this book was made because they found out that school children in the UK didn't know the names for natural things like acorns and conkers, and those words were being lost to our vocabulary. So they created this book, and it was a secret smash hit. They only printed a few hundred, and then it just became this huge smash hit. It's absolutely beautiful. So they're all these beautiful poems, usually acrostic poems, you know, so each start Heron, Heron, and it's facts in poetry form, but just beautifully shown. They're all about animals and wildlife in the UK. Just beautiful pictures and lovely poetry. I just love the format of this, and I do think this is non-fiction, even though it's done in poetry format. It's what I would definitely term this a non-fiction book, and something you can learn from. Look at that. I hope my light's not shining on it too much. Editing Jack again. Just thought I'd recommend some books I haven't got yet, but I think look absolutely amazing. First up is Nano, the Spectacular Science of the Very, Very Small, and it's by Dr. Jess Wade, but it's illustrated by one of my favourite children's book illustrators, Melissa Castrion, who is amazing. Her work is just stunning, and this is a gorgeous book, and I really want to get this. Next up, from the very, very small to the huge, is How Was That Built? Stories behind awesome superstructures. This contains cross-section cutaways of some of the world's most huge structures, like the Shard in London, featured here, and it just looks like a fascinating book, and just one you'd pore over for ages, looking at all the details of these amazing structures. Have you ever wondered what is beneath our feet as you walk along the street? Well, the street beneath my feet isn't illustrated. Look at exactly that. Cutaways and cross sections, again, things that would really fascinate anyone, and actually it opens out into a really long fold out book from what I can see online. And last, an illustrated version of Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species. This beautifully illustrated book came out very recently and is one that I added to my wish list straight away. So if you like this, if you've got any other non-fiction recommendations for children, I'd love to hear them. Please leave them in the comments below, and hopefully I will see you again here soon. Bye!